So as it turns out, Godzilla is still not working. You still have that error that says player 1 headset not detected. So of course player 1 doesn't work. And if you didn't see the last video, we swapped this cable between player 1 and player 2. And apparently that didn't help because we still have a problem with player 1. Also, even though it is not lagging right now, according to the report, it was lagging last night. This cable for the headset ends right about here. And then there's another cable that goes down all the way into the computer. And I know I've got burned by this before, but this cable doesn't move at all. And it's way out of the reach of customers, so I'm not really thinking this cable is bad. Also, the fact that the TV starts to lag after a little bit, that points me into the direction that it might be a computer issue. So we can open this and take a look at the computers. As you can tell by this awesome diagram, the player 1 computer is this guy back here. And you can look right there, the lower TV is controlled by the player 1 computer, and the upper TV is controlled by the player 2 computer. Honestly, I don't remember which TV was lagging more, but to start, we're going to take out the player 1 computer, open it up, check thermal paste, stuff like that, but it might be a better idea to open the back door to get to it. We'll go ahead and turn the game off. And now we can remove the computer entirely. And here we go. We've got a couple screws holding this back cover on. Now we pull, we lift, and here we can check out the beautiful internals of this computer. And honestly, just looking at it, it doesn't appear to be dirty, really. I don't see any dust blocking the fan or the power supply fan. But just because it's not dirty on the outside doesn't mean the thermal paste looks good. Which from most of what I've seen, no thermal paste is what causes games to overheat and lag. So to check that out, we're going to want to remove the heatsink and fan. And to do that, we got to pull this tab, pull this back. We're also going to have to get these tabs pulled to get this just out of the way for us to lift this up and out. Now let's unplug the CPU fan, and we will unscrew the 4 screws that hold it down. Now we can pick this up, and behold, some pretty dry looking thermal paste. I know everyone disagrees about the amount of thermal paste that CPUs need, but in my opinion, I think that was way too light, and it looks pretty dry. So a little bit of IPA, 99%, the good stuff, and a microfiber cloth. We can clean this old stuff right up. Don't forget the CPU side. And now that our CPU is nice and clean, we can begin applying the thermal paste. Which apparently I am out of, so we'll be right back. Now, I don't know that much about thermal paste, but this should do just fine. So I got my thermal paste, and I also got a big TV. Why did I get a big TV, you might ask? I guess you'll have to wait to find out. Anywhoozy, I'm back. I have my thermal paste right here. Now I can go ahead and apply the right thermal paste. Now I can put my heatsink back in place. Now we can screw this back down all the way. Now we plug the fan back in. There we go. Now we can put this guy back in place. Like that. I don't think I need to check the thermal paste on the graphics card because that's done by a professional factory, not built by people who I may or may not be able to trust. Latch that back in and get our cover on. So I'm going to get this back out to the game. I'm going to give the other computer the same treatment because if this one was that dry, the other one probably is too. And after I finish that, I will be back at the game. So PC2 just got the same treatment. Let's go ahead and get this back in the game. And we will use this diagram to plug everything back in. And now PC number 1. Alrighty, I believe everything is back to normal. Pretty sure I got all the cables plugged back into their correct ports. Now we can turn the game on, and we will see what happens. Alright, well the crash error came back up, but that might be because of the way I shut it down. However, it does say player 1 just needs the calibration, so let's do that. Alright, I went to the calibration, and we should now be centered in the left gunner seat. And it's a little weird on camera, but you can see that we are centered. And just for completion's sake, we are going to calibrate player 2. Alright, player 2 is now done. That's all good. And now we're back on the main game. Now we'll just plug a mouse in and we'll just dismiss that message. Now we'll close the door up and the front door too. And now all we can do is wait. If we still have problems now, then it probably is that longer secondary cable. Which I don't have one, I will have to order one. But for now, Godzilla appears to be doing okay.